Madam Chairman. So the first item on the agenda, I presume, and maybe you can confirm for me, is a bill that we have seen before. It's been called a couple of different things: on-call, shift scheduling, fair work week, etc. Effectively, my understanding is that this is a bill that would require employers to provide notice to their employees, which sounds good in concept, but there are many industries where it is not so easy for that to happen. You know, industries that rely on changes in the weather, landscapers, for example, or industries that rely on different types of events. They may not be able to make sincere predictions about what work will be necessary in the future because they don't know whether there'll be a certain show in town or a certain event that happens at a hotel, or who knows. I guess I want to make a couple of more broad statements since we're on the first item, and I'm going to try and refrain from making a whole lot of commentary today. I think this committee is going to be quite controversial and contentious, as much as I wish it would not be. I would love to operate in a spirit of collaboration, but I've got to just say off the bat that looking at this particular agenda, almost every one of these items is almost a next level of what I would consider to be egregious policy that will damage the relationship between employers and employees in this state and not do anything to benefit our economy. You know, we all come here with the notion that we're going to improve things for our constituents and to make Connecticut a more desirable place for people to live and a more affordable place to live. Policies like this one are detrimental to that goal. We are effectively telling different industries that it's going to be harder for you to operate in this state. That's not a good thing to do. We should be finding ways to invite businesses and their employees to remain in Connecticut and succeed here and lead productive and profitable lives. It just concerns me to see these bills come back year after year, and I know that this bill has been before us and it has not become law. But it seems like we keep doing all the same bills every year, and 2 or 3 of them will pass, and then we'll come back the next year, and they'll be the ones that didn't quite make it, but we keep trying them over and over again. This is not good policy. And bills like it that will develop a relationship, an adversarial relationship between employers and employees, are dangerous even beyond the individual policy itself, in my mind. You are creating an environment where people go to work expecting to have to argue and have a competitive relationship with their employer and vice versa. And that should not be the way it is. I said in another committee earlier this week that I have been both an employee and an employer many times in my life. And in every case, regardless of which one I was at any given time, my understanding was that I was supposed to work with the other side to make sure that we were working together for the most profitable relationship and for the good of the company that we were involved in so that we could all be more successful. When you're creating adversarial relationships where employees are looking for a reason to challenge their employers or create the opposite reaction, I think you're doing something detrimental to our society, not just our economy. And I could go on about this particular bill and many of the other ones on this agenda, but I'm going to kind of reserve my comments today simply to making sure that at least each one of these items we have a fairly decent description of what is going to be contained in the bill language. And I'll save my comments for another day. Those who follow this committee know that I'm not afraid to speak up, and I will certainly be doing my best to defend what I consider to be the principles that the country was founded on. And that means an equal application of the law and protecting the rights of all parties, whether they're employees or our employers. And I believe that's what we need to get back to if we want to make Connecticut the tremendous and wonderful place that I've known my whole life, and preserve that for future generations. Thank you for your indulgence, Madam Chairman. If you could just confirm for me that this is similar to bills from previous years, and that is what it is focused on, which is making sure that employers are required to schedule their employees with the caveats that I had mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sampson. And before I respond, I do want to, LCO has informed me that we procedurally, it's important that we have one motion, since we'll be doing one voice vote on each section. So I'm going to, before we